Hi, I heard something.
Hello, everyone.
Hi,
Yes,
Rudy.
that's
Can you hear
me.
me? I can hear you good. Can
I
you
can
hear
hear
me?
you perfectly fine.
Amazing. Okay, phew, because I thought,
I
is
can
it
hear you
on my
good,
end?
Evelyn.
Amazing. Good to see
Definitely
you.
off
We
my
don't know
end.
each other, do we?
Who? Me?
No, I've met you. I've met you yesterday. You have met yesterday. I mean, Rudy, who finally I've got sound and video from.
Yeah, I've never met you, but I've known about you for over 10 years now from South Africa. So it's nice to finally meet you.
Amazing. Are you in South Africa now?
No, I'm currently in Germany. So yeah, that's where I'm based right now. I'm based in Germany, where I have been based for the past 5 years intermittently.
Amazing. That's where I'm from. So, hey,
Fantastic.
you're my home turf. And how do you know about me?
When I wanted to venture into voice acting when I was at the University of Cape Town, I had a friend, Siaramba, who told me that he had been introduced to you and you basically got him into the acting sphere, and he sent me your contact. And for the past, it's literally been 10 years me trying to get a hold of Evelyn, and I think the universe just aligned the stars now, and so here I am.
That's really interesting. Now, I'm actually wondering, because you're talking about Africa, whether it's
Mm.
me, Evelyne, that you mean, or the other Evelyn Brink. Do you know that there's
Ooh,
How,
another Evelyn Brink in South Africa?
how coincidental is that?
Yes. So there is
Because
another
I've
Evelyn Brink who is an agent in.
exactly. So that's not you.
No, that is not me.
Oh.
But by now, but you're still in the right place. It's, yeah, so you can laugh. This is hilarious. So Evelyn Brink without an E is in South Africa, and she's an agent. We're similar ages. We both have children now, and by now we're Facebook friends because she gets a lot of my correspondence because I'm Evelyn with an E at the end,
Ah, I
and we both were in
see.
the entertainment field, so we get mistaken
Hmm.
for each other. It's hilarious
What a what a great coincidence, because here I am.
because here you are, and you're gonna get a lot
Hmm.
out of this, especially if
Hmm.
you tell me what you need. Because my specialty is coaching and getting
Hmm.
people really set up to up level their game.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
so my
yeah.
clients have had major record deals. I work now with top CEOs of very big companies and corporates. They come to me to help me. I help them refine their speeches, help them speak on stage or on video or on camera. So if you are
Hmm.
in that kind of world, I'm still a woman, but I'm the other Evelyn.
Fantastic, fantastic. I mean, it is definitely in line with what I'm looking for. Like I've been reading some of your emails. They're very much direct, and I like that you are very intentional about your work. And I do feel like most of what you've presented is what I need. I do need to work on my confidence. I have been told that I've got talents that I can't even sometimes see. So I want to leverage off of that by gaining the confidence to show myself to the world.
I love it. Okay, well, you're definitely in the right place. Evelyn 102.
Yeah.
Amazing. And then if you want to get in touch
Great.
with the other Evelyn, you now know that she's spelled the same way as me, just without the E at the end.
Got it.
Fantastic. So welcome. It's nice to see you again. I met you yesterday. You need to unmute yourself if you want to speak.
I flooded your emails yesterday
You
promptly
flooded my
after.
emails with something. You did. I
Yeah,
didn't have
yeah.
a chance to read it all, but thank you
So
so much.
I really got fired up when you were talking about voices and characters. That just ignited a whole new possibility with me. I was mute as a child, and finding my voice has been a lifelong journey. And I found it through different gateways, and I'm at the point where I'm working with families who are impacted on by autism and mutism and brain injury to help them find their voice.
Okay. Wow.
So for me, it's the next level. You know,
Yeah.
I've done it with my paintbrush. I've done it with some writing, although I haven't been very vocal about what I've written. And I've done it with, I spoke in the House of Lords.
Well done. Wow, that's great.
So I'm sort of making little tentative steps, but I feel I need to sort of bring it into something more solid.
Let's do it. Can I ask you, are you on a laptop by any chance at the moment?
I'm on the phone
Or on the
because
phone? It didn't
I
work with the
couldn't get. I
technology.
normally go on my iPad because it's bigger,
Okay.
but I couldn't get your Zoom number. I
Don't
didn't know
worry.
if I need.
Can you just stabilize the phone for me so we don't get seasick? That would be my request.
Okay,
Brr.
sorry.
Brr. I don't want to vomit over the screen. That just
Okay,
doesn't. Okay, great.
okay.
So, I host these impact calls once a month. And this Monday we had a technical disaster and it just didn't work out. And so we said, right, we're going to do it on Friday. So it's a very different feeling for me on a Friday. I'm kind of in this Friday mood. And it's, of course, yeah, people have different commitments. So I feel this is a different and beautiful kind of vibe. Because we're only two, we can do whatever the heck we want. Use me in any way. So I have prepared impact games, but if I hear from you that there's something specific that you could really use my help with, I'm more than happy to just serve you in the best way I can. Like I don't have to force through a program. I'm more than happy to help and serve because that's my biggest pleasure. The aim from my side is to show you what's possible and available here, and so that you get a really good feel of what you can get when you're in my world, and maybe you're interested in working with me more, maybe you're not. That's, it all happens the way it needs to happen, but I'm showing up to serve people. That's my intention. So here we are. Cool. So Rui, tell me in a minute, if you can, what would make this call really amazing? Like if I had a magic wand and I could wave it for you and I could give you everything you ever needed, what would that be?
I need okay, great question. That would be having access to information and tools that would give me a different perspective of how I see myself in relation to the world.
Mm-hmm.
And another aspect would be to understand where someone who has this skill set or traits would best fit into this very ever growing complex world. And but yeah, by the end of this call, I would like to have some form of direction, or some form of direction in which I would like to take the next step, with also an insight into a new perspective on how I can actually see things. I think that's less than a minute, which I think is okay.
Very good. We've done very, very well. Now I just need to make sure I also understand what you want, because I don't know you, so I'm like, what kind of field do you work in now?
So I have been working in recruitment and sales for the most part. I have tried to work on radio and do some voice presenting. I
Mm-hmm.
think it was more of a confidence issue or some sort that sort of like deterred me from pursuing that continuously. I have recently started, using my other talents, which is singing, but I have realized that I'm quite self-critical when I am on stage. So it's always as though I am on stage and I understand that my sole purpose is to share my gift with everyone and to heal the world, if you may. But it doesn't translate well because I'm still thinking about the intention and what it is that I'm doing, and I think it does not connect well to people. So from the emails that I've been getting from you, you speak a lot about stage presence and
Yep.
um, public speaking and the confidence of your voice and finding
Yep.
it and finding your own style and being comfortable with that. And me being someone who's naturally curious and try to learn from I'm from South Africa, a very much cosmopolitan country that has explored and exposed us to a lot of what the world is like. So I'm trying to find a way I can bring all of this whirlwind of talents into a directed path that would allow people to understand me better.
I love it. Thank you. So what I'm hearing is you are a creative at heart. You have messages to share. You want to heal the world. You have your
Yeah,
voice that you can and want to do that with, but
yeah,
there is your mind in the way telling you all sorts of not very useful stuff, and
indeed.
therefore you're stuck in a bit of a rut. And so
A
what is
loop,
in there
yeah.
isn't really getting out there properly.
Yeah, so it's like I know what I need to do, so I go out there and I experience it, and then I come back into my room, and then it's like I'm constantly replaying, second guessing games with myself. Like, okay, was my last performance really that great, or was it just in my head? So I just want, I want to do this without having to think about that, because I can do it when I'm alone, when I'm alone in my room. I can sing, I can
Got it.
perform and
Yes.
record stuff. When in front of people, it's like, what is this
Yeah.
person thinking? What is that person thinking? So yeah.
Yes. Get it. Okay. That's a whole different ballgame. Thank you. I have a much better understanding of what you need today. That's
Yeah.
fantastic. Sherry Stringer has entered the room. I am so honored and thrilled. Hi.
Hi.
Sherry, we've just gone through, and as you know, because you were there on Monday, we're having another magical session with new people I've actually not met before on this call, which is great. Rudy is asking for the confidence, and I think he needs to become a mental ninja, really, so he can become the performer that he knows he's actually destined to be. And then we have wonderful Sue, who I only met yesterday, who is here to find more of her voice. Right, Sue? So
Can I just read 3 lines to you? Because I think it might give you.
yes. Read me
Okay.
3 lines and tell me exactly what you need, and then we want to hear that from
Okay.
Sherry, and then we're going to weave magic.
So I guess my overall thing is around autism acceptance and neurodiversity. That's my territory. And it's about helping people unlock a hidden universe with revolutionary insight on superpowers that are within, and seeking the transformative power of potential and perspective, and getting across to people that they're not broken, they don't need to be fixed, they're intrinsically okay.
Mm-hmm.
And that the neurotypical world has got it wrong, that people that are neurodiverse aren't broken, they're just different.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So
Perfect.
that's the gist.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. And for you personally, Sue, do you identify as neurodiverse as well? Is this a personal journey?
I was mute as a child, and I learned I was autistic age 47, and I'm now 66. So I've lived as an undiagnosed autist for 47 years and a diagnosed autist for 19 years, or whatever the maths is. So I know what it's like to not know, and I know what it's like to know. And I'm really well received. I've worked in that field for 24 years, but I gave up being an employee last summer, and I really, really want to support families, but also shift attitudes of professionals.
Amazing.
In a nice way, without, breaking them, but they're so ignorant in so many ways.
Yeah.
In this regard.
That's amazing. Rudy, I see you nodding along. Are you familiar with the world of neurodiversity?
I am shocked that I'm shocked at all of these weird coincidences, because thank you so much for openly sharing that. Um, yeah, you've just shifted my world already, just by opening up about that, because, you know, for obvious reasons, like me accepting or even understanding what neurodivergence is or autism is, it's something that has been introduced into my sphere quite recently, and only because I have known that I have been a brilliant worker and performer in most parts of my career, but there were certain aspects of my perception or perspectives that people never really aligned with, and I basically see things that other people can't see, or pick up on things that people can't see, and try to save the world before it crumbles. And only recently, with my friend who has a solid interest in mental health and awareness, we started exploring the possibility of like neurodivergence and autism. And I have been undiagnosed. I've already claimed title of a functional autistic, although it's not something that I openly share with people. But obviously, with Sue's story, I feel comfortable in this group to say that this is a new topic to me that I'm willing to explore within myself. And the way that you put it, Sue, in those 3 lines is quite amazing. And I don't feel as much as a weirdo as I would normally feel these calls. So thank you for the great, solid intro.
Isn't that so cool? That reminds me of something that I forgot on Monday, because when it's an intimate group, it's so easy for me to throw
I've got
everything
goosebumps.
away.
I've got goosebumps.
It's so special, isn't it? I love every call I do. There's some magic happening right in front of our eyes. It's so gorgeous. I love to record these calls, and I
Fine.
actually, if that's okay with you, I love to record them and put them on YouTube so people can see the kind of work we do here. Is that okay with you guys?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm okay with it as long as I'll also get a copy. This is basically my introduction to all this.
Exactly.
A self-diagnosed autist.
Wonderful. Yeah. You're coming out.
Yeah.
Can I just want to
It
say,
seems.
I just want to say something to you. What's your name, Rudy?
My name is Rudy, but my native name is Ayanda. Yeah.
Okay, Ayanda.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's perfect.
So the reason I'm drawn to speaking with listening to Evelyne today is because she breaks the mold, and so do I. So if you can say, how can somebody paint when they don't see pictures in their head? They've got something called aphantasia, which means you don't see anything in your head. And yet I'm a painter. How can I write when I'm dyslexic? How can I be a speaker and an empath when I'm autistic? So all the things that people say are not possible is because their lens is limited. It isn't because that's the truth. Okay?
Yeah. I understand
Beautiful.
the pain of
I
being
love
completely
it.
misunderstood. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. It's very easy to be completely misunderstood. And it's wonderful when you find a place where you're finally understood.
Indeed.
Yeah. So welcome home. And with that said, I'm going to segue to Sherry. Sherry, what would you like to get out of this call today? Are you coming with a topic, with an agenda, an open heart? What would really serve you today, if you know?
Yes, thank you for asking, Evelyne. And it is Cherie.
Oh,
not Sherry.
Cherie. Sorry. Yeah.
Cherie. So I want to bring beauty in the world with my voice and into people's hearts. And this ties to what Sue has been saying and Rudy has been saying. As I've been listening in, I have always gone against the grain. I work backwards. My brain doesn't work like everyone else's. My brain starts at the end and works backwards for the details, which was what
Hallelujah.
made me a wonderful landscape architect. I've always been neurodivergent. And in fact, most of the people in the world that are super creative, intuitive, empathic, and doing amazing things are different in their neural structure and in the way that they think. So, but yes, I want to show up in a way in my energy that brings beauty into people's lives and into their hearts. And that's my goal for today.
Beautiful.
Isn't it interesting how aligned we are?
Crazy.
and the reason I came here is because Evelyne broke the mold with her son, and that was so inspirational that I thought, I don't care, I'll cancel what I'm doing tomorrow afternoon. I've got to take more of this woman on board.
Yep.
Thank you.
Our energy, this ties to what I want today. I've been working on my energy for I don't know, probably 6 years, intentionally working on my energy. And I think that Evelyne's energy is so playful and so against the grain and breaks all the molds that our energy then really does send a signal more than our words. And that brings us all together. And I know that's what brought me here, Evelyne, to you on Monday. And here is your energy. So I really believe in that energy dynamic and connection between all people.
Beautiful. Beautifully said. Thank you so much. Yes. And I'm smiling at this because the word Evelyne energy is a word that's coming at me more and more often. So I'm listening to that and I'm like, okay, I wonder, so what is it that they mean when they say we want the Evelyne energy? And so I'm curious, when and as you have some words with that, I'll be very happy to hear them. Because it's great to understand ourselves, isn't it? And to understand ourselves goes two ways. One, to understand yourself from who you are inside yourself. And number two, understand yourself from how other people are seeing you. And this is where it gets really interesting for the so-called neurodivergent amongst us, which is at current rate probably 100%. Makes it easy. But as we see and perceive a bit differently than the mainstream, we grow up with a slightly tilted head about that, right? Because I might think this is it, and then you get mirrored back. No, that's really not it. And you're like, huh? Right? So you often walk around a bit like, okay, I think this is it, but you might think something completely different. Can we align? Like, which part is it? And it's super fascinating. Now, at some point, we find out I'm not even sure what not neurodivergent is anymore, because I see that everybody has their own ways of processing, and what they call neurotypical might not be as mainstream as we think. In fact, if I look at what they call neurodivergent, like the fact that I can't really sit still for that long and I only focus on things I'm really interested in and the rest I really don't like and all that, which they somewhere in some places call ADHD, is really very healthy human behavior. A human, a healthy animal, is not designed to sit at a desk for 8 hours and do this. That to me is not healthy behavior. I'm happy people can do it because those who are still, from the age of the Industrial Revolution, we needed that. But we're moving out of that now. So A, it's all going to calm down a little on that front. But B, I really want to question what this neurotypical versus neurodivergent actually means.
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
like too how you explained it. These are lenses. These are limited lenses. And so in the work here, I'm less interested in lenses and a lot more interested in freedom and connection. So we're playing with, as Cherie said so beautifully, and it's so funny when I said your name, Cherie, then my Siri went on and said, I couldn't understand the request. So, I had to put it down. I'm like, oh, be quiet, telephone, But as Cherie said it so wonderfully, it is the energy that connects us more than the words. So when it comes to showing up in the world, becoming more visible, becoming more, as I like to say, seen, felt, and heard. Seen is not about being looked at. It's about being understood when you're being looked at.
Absolutely, 100%.
Being felt is that I get a feeling for who you are. I don't know, you don't even need to say anything. I want to get a real feeling for you are. So it's a perception, it's a visceral experience being in your presence, which especially for you, Rudy, will be super interesting as a singer and performer. But for anyone, if you're consulting, if you're coaching, if you're speaking, we need to be able to be felt so people know, experience, and remember who we are. And of course, the same is for heard, right? I can talk a lot, but did you hear me? So that piece is deeper than the words. It's deeper than the how do you say it? Look into the camera, use your hands from left to right. That's surface level stuff, which is sometimes interesting. But what's really relevant is what's underneath. And then we summarize that with energy. Oh, I don't know what it is about him or her. It's just the energy. It's usually a summary of those different criteria, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's see where we want to go. I'm gonna, should we raise the hand? We're gonna go there. Rudy and Sue, can I ask you to mute yourselves when you're not speaking because you're getting little funny noises, and then when you're speaking, unmute yourself to your leisure. Then we'll all have a better sound. Cherie, fire away.
What are your thoughts, Evelyne, along with what you just said about that 93% of communication is nonverbal?
My thought is yes. However, I don't believe in statistics very much. They are designed to make someone sound smart. And so how do you measure that? Having said that, most of communication is nonverbal. And then they go, okay, this much body language, is this much voice, is this much this or whatever, fill in the gaps as to make your point here. One of the points that I make is that the tone of voice says so much more than you might have ever given it credit. I prove that. Oh, Elizabeth Carney entered the waiting room. Let's get her in. And I prove that by saying the same statements in different tones of voices. So choose a sentence. You want to choose a sentence so we play something different? Otherwise, I'll go with my default.
Let's say
Let's do it.
call someone up and say, hey, how you doing today?
How are you doing today? Okay, so I'm going to give you different variations of how you're doing today. You can close your eyes so that my body language isn't relevant. Okay, so everybody else, if you want, close your eyes and just see what you're receiving. What does it mean when I say, how are you doing today? Version 1. Hey, how are you doing today? Number 2. Hey, how are you doing today? Number 3. Hey, how are you doing today? Number 4. Hey, how are you doing today? Number 5. Hey, how are you doing today? Number 6. How are you doing today? Number 7. And how are you doing today? Okay, I'll take it till here. Let you simmer with this for a second and welcome Elizabeth to the call. Hi, Elizabeth. It's wonderful to have you here as well. We have begun. We're talking about communication right now. We're talking about energy. We're talking about what really binds us together beneath our words, and had the first example of if I change my voice, it changes everything. And I just make the point that the voice gives you a lot more away about you than you might have given it credit for. So welcome. The thing you do need to know about this call is it is recorded, because I love putting sessions like this on YouTube so people can get an insight about what we're doing. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, I'm fine. Sorry, I'm half an hour late. I just got caught up with something, didn't realize what time it was. So I'm cool with it being recorded, and yeah, so hopefully
Fantastic.
I'm here for the rest of it now. Thank you.
Absolutely. Here you are. It's a pleasure. Thank you. And welcome. Tari, well, how was that for you? What did you receive?
I received that one of them was very sultry, like sexy. Another one was like resistant and like distracted. Another one was forceful. One was playful. So I got a lot of very different emotional reactions within me and interpretations when my eyes were closed, just listening to the tone. That was beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. So what we hear is I told a completely different story, right? So because if I greet you with, hey, how are you doing today? You're like, oh, we're on. Like, what? Evelyne's flirting with me. What does she want? And our conversation will be a different one than if I greet you with, so, hey, how are you doing today? Whereby you will be thinking, oh, I don't think she wants to be here.
Yes, I'm
Right?
reading a different story behind the pages. I'm creating a different.
You are going to be creating a story different because I gave you a different story behind the pages. Right? So our voice gives a story behind the pages. And those of us who are, so some of us are more attuned to this than others, but we are all picking it up.
Right. Whether we're attuned to it or not, the other person is
Correct.
picking it up from our tone.
You are going to pick it up. Like, even if you haven't, like, I'm very deliberate about it to the extent that some people get very self-conscientious or self-conscious. When they speak to me, they're like, oh, I know, you're listening to my voice. I know you. Because one of my gifts is that I can hear where you're at in yourself through your voice. So what I do is how I help people very fast break through, because I hear all those subtleties. That's been a bonus of my healing the voice from its dysfunction. And I put that to good use today. But even if you're not trained, you're going to pick it up if that person makes you feel safe, unsafe, liked, not liked. Do they have time for me? They're not. You know, when people speak to you like really quickly and really fast, like, hey, how are you doing today? You already know that you have to speak to me fast and efficient. Otherwise, I'm probably not going to listen to you very long. Just from the way that I said one sentence. So we're picking it up. And so the question that I ask people is, given that we're picking up what you're putting down, do you know what you're putting down? Is this what you wanted to put down? Because there's two layers to this. The first one is the intentional. Like, I was just playing with it and I know what I did, and so you could pick that up. The second layer is the unintentional, because we all have patterns and places where our voice is stuck, more or less, or default patterns, default settings. Mine used to be quite stiff and monotone tone and therefore stuck in anger. That's where my voice was. If you listen to recordings from me as a young woman, a girl, I always, and I'm also German, yeah. It always sounds like it's like here. It's a bit, hi, dear diary, today I'm going to see this and I'm going to do that. I had a great day, a little bit annoyed, but whatever. This is what it is. La 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 la. That's where my voice was stuck. It was my default. Now my default has a lot more melody. However, we all have defaults. So each and every one of you has a pattern where you kind of operate mostly in when you're not conscious. And that pattern tells me a lot about you.
You
So
know,
Rudy, when you spoke earlier, let me just refer back to that. And Rudy was talking about voiceover work and being discouraged quite quickly, but also not having a lot of confidence. If you don't have a lot of confidence, I will hear that in your voice so quickly. And it will also limit your range of expression. And so we're picking that up. So it's no wonder that you don't go very far, because of course, when your voice has to transmit all sorts of things, we need it to be flexible and powerful and safe and make us feel safe, because everybody is insecure. So your job is to make me feel secure. But if you and yourself are not, that's a really hard task.
you're going to pick it up.
It's so crazy because I usually think of it from one perspective, but yes, other people also have these abilities and they can pick it up, and yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
So Rudy, in your voice, I can hear quite a deal of sadness and doubt. It comes across from your tone of voice. And so for me, it's beautiful because I'm like, oh, he's really honest, because it matches what you were saying. You were very open, sharing where you're at. That's what's coming across in your voice at the moment. It doesn't have to stay that way, but it's good for you to understand that, because if that's what comes across and it wasn't what you wanted to bring across, you see that there's a mismatch. Just like I wasn't always angry,
Exactly.
but my voice sounded like I was pissed off most of the time. Thank you. Cherie, I interrupted something that you were starting.
I just wanted to share, I was actually experimenting with that this morning with voice notes to different people, and I noticed that people responded very differently, of course, when I was more playful and when I was more grounded and my voice came across that way. I have a practice of listening to my voice, and at first I didn't like that, but I think that's a really good practice so that I can be more aware of the tonality. Thank you. Yeah.
What a great and brave practice that is. Yeah. Amazing. I'm wondering, shall we play a game? Shall we play a voice game?
Let's
Would
go
you be up for
ahead.
that?
Yeah, let's do
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
All right.
May I
Let's
ask
do.
one question first?
No, only two. One is not enough.
How did I come across?
Thank you for asking. So when you read your lines, Sue, you got quite stiff. So I'll be direct, yeah, and honest. You got quite stiff, and then your voice starts breaking a little bit. So it's quite typical when we're not completely comfortable to restrict the voice. And so it was restricted in range and it was restricted in resonance. So you boxed yourself in, which makes a lot of sense, in order to I need to get that point across and stay focused. At the same time, you interrupted your breath flow, so it wasn't flowing. So how does that come across? It comes across as someone who is trying to make a point and really, really trying to make a point. There's nothing wrong, but there's a lot more that you can do to become more impactful. And I think this is important for you, for everyone to know. This is not about you're doing your voice wrong. Like, come to me and I show you how to use your voice right, because you're doing it all wrong. No, nobody's doing their voice wrong. We have certain patterns and certain preferences that we are habituated with in whatever the thing is that comes after habituated. And we can learn to expand, and we can learn to be more, and we can learn to have more power, more flexibility, more freedom. That's what we're here to do. Okay. So when I say something, it is never to criticize or put you down or correct you. It is always to add and enhance. That's really important to me. because as a trained actress, I've been taken apart so many times and it felt horrible. And I do not believe in that practice. We're going to break you down and then we're going to build you back up. No, you're not. You're just going to install lots of shit in my head and make me walk around even more paranoid and insecure that I came in with. Stop that. Bullshit. We're fine as we are, and there is more for us to learn. We're here to evolve. Okay. That's my sermon on this topic.
Amen.
Amen. Exactly. I got an amen. Hallelujah. Okay. This is the kind of freedom. So let's play a game. Let's get a sentence. And I have two ideas. One is to talk about you directly, and the other one is to talk about something completely unrelated to you. And we're going to do that in different tonalities and ways, just like I just demonstrated with, hey, how are you today? Rudy, I would like to speak. I want you to speak about yourself. Sue, I want you to say a sentence about what you do. Elizabeth, I don't yet know. You get to choose. And Cherie, let's give you a challenge and speak one sentence about what you do. Okay, so take a minute and choose a sentence because we're going to use the same sentence in different ways. I'm going to play holding music whilst you think. Dee da dee da dee da 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 dee dee da 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 dee da dee da da dee da dee da dee da 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 dee dee da 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 dee da da dee 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 da 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 da. That should be about a minute. Okay, let's start. Who are we starting with? Shall we start with you?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. I create
One
beauty.
sentence.
One sentence. I create beauty in the hearts of visionaries and bring peace to their lives.
Beautiful. If you say it like that, what are we getting? Let's get a quick feedback so she can see the difference. Elizabeth or Sue, what are you hearing when she says it like that? Do we believe her? Is it like, yes?
I heard that she was thinking about it hard and she was unsure of what she was saying.
Thank you. Sue?
I was curious, but not enough.
Thank you. And Rudy?
I felt she's not telling us enough about what she does.
Great. Okay. With that feedback, let's get into your voice, into your energy. Think about what you want to tell us because it's not in the words. It's in your sound. And your sound is directed by your intention. That's the piece I haven't mentioned yet. Intention guides the sound. If only voice teachers knew that, we would all, learn singing so much quicker.
Yeah.
It's not just about open your mouth and go and speak up. It's what is my intention behind it? I know this intimately because I've had a dysfunctional voice. And to heal my voice, I had to find the true intention of my sound. When I had the true intention of my sound and my voice had a reason to sound, oh my gosh, it opens up. And often in calls like this, my voice is very resonant and it opens up because I'm in a flow, I'm in an intention. And when I'm by myself, I'm thinking, okay, I need to do something like now, something really powerful. Then my voice kind of goes, yeah, whatever, see you later. Nah. So intention guides your voice. Cherie, you have an intention? When you've got it, give it to us. Give us the same sentence.
My intention is to create beauty in the hearts of visionaries.
Great. So you say that you have the intention in your mind, and then tell us your sentence. I create beauty, but
I create beauty and alignment in people's hearts.
good. Thank you. Did we believe it a little bit more? What do we think? What are we receiving? And be honest, you can be harsh in a nice way. Firm, not harsh, firm.
Yes.
Yeah, go for it, Rudy.
I I believed her more, and I actually feel that it's very personal to her. So I don't want to discourage her from that mission
The
because it
mission is
sounded so sincere. It sounded sincere. I think that's the best way I can put it.
good. So that's good. So we got the sincerity across. Nice.
I thought it was more gentle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And because it was more gentle, it felt more intimate, right? It felt more intimate. Cherie, with you, I often hear a slight fatigue and a sadness in your voice, something that kind of drags down a bit. And that might be true, and that again is not wrong, but it might not be what you want to bring across in that moment. So let's play with some playfulness in there that you've mentioned in my voice that you want. So let's play. Let's get silly. And when we get silly, we're not going to do it any better than before. We're just going to get it silly. All right? Just different. So just different. So this is not, okay, now we really said it well, but it's like, no, now I'm stretching you somewhere else. Can you imagine that you are 5 years old and we're in the playground and we're throwing sand at each other? Okay. And I got some and I put some in down your t-shirt. Okay. And you took some and you rubbed some on my hair. How mean. We're probably both in trouble by now. And the kindergarten teacher comes, what are you doing? And you are going to explain to the teacher that you free people's beauty in the hearts. Let's see what comes out.
Just freeing her beauty, her natural beauty from within. She wanted to really feel that in her hair and in her body.
Great. Do it again and be even more cheeky.
Let's see.
Take your
Yeah,
hands, put them behind your ears, like go wave at me. You know what we did when we were small.
You can really feel it, like in her hair, like really feel the substance and like lean into that because that's what she wanted. It was like bringing her freedom.
Give me exactly that sentence. I free beauty. What's the sentence?
I I free the beauty within from inside out and within, and allow people to feel it.
Thank you. What's the exact sentence? Unfortunately, I didn't write it down, so I can't quite grasp it. But I free beauty in people's hearts or leaders' hearts?
I create beauty in people's hearts.
That's it. So that's the sentence. I create beauty in people's hearts. So give me that.
Okay. I create beauty in people's hearts.
Good. That's nice. And I would love to stretch it even more. Like if you're really 5 years old, like I create beauty in people's hearts.
Okay.
Look at me.
Beauty in people's hearts. See her hair?
Good. What do we hear? What do we hear when she does that? We know she's playing, but what do we hear in her voice when she does that? What happens to her voice?
I hear her
Presence.
essence.
That was two at once. I couldn't quite detect that. Rudy, what did you say?
Presence is, yeah. I said presence and Sue said essence. So it
Oh,
sounded
that's
like
fun.
the same
Press
thing.
essence.
Yeah. Yeah. Press essence.
Press essence. I like it.
Indeed.
It's a new thing. Elizabeth, did you hear something new in her voice?
Yeah, there was more of a lightness to it, which somehow was, I know it was lighter, but it was somehow even, it was more believable.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. From a vocal perspective, I will say that actually from a functionality, your vocal folds were working better. They were coming together. So when I talk about this fatigue, tired tone or sad tone, from a technical perspective, it actually means that your vocal folds are a little bit apart and air's coming through. It's that sound, right? That we associate with, oh God, I'm a bit tired and also a little sad. So when the voice is open like this, it's great for yoga instructions, however. When you were playful and fun, your voice, your vocal folds were swinging together. They were coming together really nicely.
Okay.
So actually, from a function perspective, it was more healthy as a tone.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That was surprising. I love the feedback. Very surprising.
And now she's put it a little in her voice, right? Now it's that joy, that giggly. It's cute, right? It's interesting how we take that on. These are all different parts of you. It's not that one is more real than the other just because you hadn't had access to it a minute ago. They are all different parts of us. Let's do one more and then I want to move on. Let's go into the dictatorial realm. Yes, I know. You're standing on a massive podium, and you're talking to the people of America who have come to listen to you. It's a bit like the presidential speech, and they all want to know, Cherie, what the heck is it you do? And you're telling them straight because America needs to hear this.
I create beauty in the hearts of people.
America can't hear you. What did you say?
I release the beauty in the hearts of people, and we need to hear it.
Beautiful. Now imagine there's literally 20,000 people in front of you. If you say, oh, casually, I released some beauty in the hearts of people, we're like, what on earth is going on? You're standing straight. It's a Martin Luther King moment, but in Cherie Stringer's body.
I create beauty in the hearts of others.
We're getting there. I want it even bigger. So there's something about being on a big stage versus being with one person in the room. With one person in the room, you get to be quite intimate and relaxed. And the bigger the stage, the bigger the you. And you have that in you, Cherie, because you are a leader of people. And people are looking at you, and you need to project yourself, which means you take that message and you blast it out to the world. You see how my body, my essence, my presence is getting bigger? Yours is too. We're standing straight. The shoulders are down and back. We're grounded. We are addressing the nation.
I create beauty in the hearts of people.
Better.
We need more
But
beauty.
I want to hear something around the lines of, I create beauty in the hearts of people.
I create beauty in the hearts of people.
Good, we're getting there. Now, every word has an echo, which means you have to take a break and a pause after every word.
Right. I create beauty in the hearts of people.
Great, but it's after every word. I create.
Got it. I create beauty in the hearts of people.
Good. Beautiful. We'll take it till here. I would love to play with you more, but this is a taster session, not a full workshop. So
Yeah.
we'll take it till here. Tell me what are you getting from that? Because it's quite a stretching exercise to take that much space for one sentence.
Yeah, I take that I rush the words. I don't leave enough space for the impact.
Mhm.
And I'm aware that my pattern actually is not only to rush the words in the sentence, but to send people multiple versions without letting one land. And it
Boom.
reminds me of when I'm leading a team, when I'm leading people, that I do slow down, because otherwise the impact is lost.
Correct.
Yeah. And projection, like the projection and the stance and the internal intention of making their impact does actually have that impact. So all those things are landing.
Yes, amazing. So the inner work goes first. And
Yeah.
this is what's so powerful and also challenging when we work as thought leaders on camera, because you're just at home,
Yeah.
I'm just at home, but you're not. You are addressing the nation, in fact, the world. But it has to come from you inside, and you get to believe that. And then the part of you goes, what the heck do you think you're doing? Like you're literally sitting in your home, blowing yourself up like a balloon. No, it has to come from me. It's my decision to understand. I create this speech to the nation, for example. But then if I'm watching you, I get someone who is speaking to the nation rather than somebody who's at home. So you're literally creating that impact.
Because you are. I mean, you're speaking
because you are.
to people, and there's 10 billion people on the planet. You are literally speaking to the planet.
Correct. Unless you decide you're not, because there's different ways of doing stuff. So let me get quick feedback from Elizabeth. What did you hear? She did it like that.
Yeah, it's getting stronger. I want to hear the I help people, and because the I is the power thing about this is what you do. I wanted to hear that stronger.
I love that. Thank you so much for saying that, Elizabeth. It's a really big deal for a woman to take space with an I, because we are educated in being palatable and not seen like that. So to stand up and start a sentence with emphasis on I is the most daring thing you can do. And scary, because like, I create people, hearts, love. I. It's great exercise, Cherie.
That is such a good feedback. Thank you. Yes.
Thank you. So good. Okay. So what are we learning from this exercise?
Intention is key.
Mm-hmm.
It's natural.
Okay, Rudy, your internet is patchy, so it didn't get that, but it sounded great because you put a hand up, so it must have been powerful. Let's see if you're back.
Yeah, I just said I agree with you. Intention is important.
Is everything is key. Thank you. We got the intention is keep it now. Beautiful. So that will help you a lot with your confidence piece, in the sense that when you have a clear intention, you can carry that through. Now, what Rudy was saying, what's your real name again? I like that very much. We can't.
Ayanda. Yeah.
It's a great name. Forget Rudy. Ayanda. It's much better. I love it.
Well, thank you. Ayanda it is.
Yeah, Ayanda. It's musical, it's poetic, it's different, it's strong, I love it. Wonderful name. Ayanda.
Thank
When
you.
you have a clear intention, your voice will carry it. You have a great voice, very resonant. The challenge you have is when the other part of your mind starts telling you that you shouldn't. And that's why I said in the beginning, I want you to become a mind ninja. That's not something that we do overnight, but it's a great intention to set. The mind ninja will be learning to see what is useful to me and what isn't. So I'm not saying what's true and what isn't. Yeah, because if the voice says you're shit, maybe you are shit in a moment. I'm not going to argue with that voice. Sometimes I'm shit. If the voice thinks I'm the greatest, maybe it's right and you are the greatest, maybe it's not. What do I know? What do I care? The question I have, much more relevant, is this useful right now? Is this serving me right now? So if your mind wants to tell you, well, you to do this and you don't know, and they're not going to understand you. I don't want to get into an argument whether it's right or not. It might not be. I'm asking, is this useful thinking right now? And clearly it's not, because I'm trying to deliver a speech or a sentence or a song. The only useful thought right now is, let me deliver this song.
The intention.
The intention is, I am here to heal the world. That's your intention.
Yeah.
So open yourself up to heal the world. Anything else isn't useful. So that's a meditation exercise. I'm not saying like, do that and everything will be fine. It's a repeated practice. But this is a place for you to start. You wanted a clear direction. This is a great place to start. Yeah,
Thank you, Evelyne.
it's a pleasure.
Yeah.
Sue, I need to hear your voice, and I want to get some flexibility in there. Do we still have a few minutes? Are you guys flexible on time? If you're not, I
Yes,
will
I'm
honor.
flexible.
Good. Okay. So we'll take a few minutes where I want to see if we can get Sue's voice to open and flourish. Give me one of your sentences, please, from your 3 lines that you had about
Oh, okay. I
diversity.
was going to say a different one.
Okay, fine.
I give a voice to the voiceless and meaning to the marginalised.
Great. I give a voice to the voices and meaning to the marginalized.
Voiceless.
Voiceless. Oh, even better. I give a voice to the voiceless and meaning to the marginalized. Okay, please give me that sentence. You're utterly bored out of your mind. You've been watching EastEnders for 16 hours and it's coming out of your ears. And you're just kind of just.
I give a voice to a voiceless and meaning to the marginalised.
Perfect. That was as bored as it can be. Let's go the other way around and get hugely excited about it. And I've seen you
I give a
excited.
voice to a voiceless and meaning to the marginalised.
Great. And now let's have you say this like you mean it. Like this is the most important thing. Like the last sentence you've ever, if this was the last sentence you've ever spoken, or the only sentence you ever get to speak, the only thing we ever get to remember you by is this sentence. It's important that we understand what it is.
My legacy is that I give a voice to the voiceless and meaning to the marginalised.
Beautiful. Without saying my legacy is, give me that legacy from inside. So the intention is inside, and then only the sentence comes out.
I give a voice to the voiceless and meaning to the marginalised.
Good. Can I have it? You're in love. You're in love with someone. And it's like saying, I've never said this before. I didn't think I would, but I love you. But what you're going to say is your sentence.
I give a voice to the voiceless and meaning to the marginalised.
Beautiful. Now a bit more seductive because you're over 25. And you know what you want.
I'm embarrassed now.
Brilliant.
Thank
Brilliant.
you.
It's good to feel that. And so just give yourself that feeling as well. We don't need to rush over that. It's really interesting what comes up when we go into spaces. So that feels a bit more vulnerable, a bit more naked, a bit more like, oof, exposed. Gosh. But let's acknowledge that. Okay. I'm not expecting you to do it perfectly or right. Let's acknowledge that there's sensation here. Whoa, that's a lot.
It just came over me like a. I don't even know if I can do it.
No, it doesn't matter.
Shaking.
Great. Yeah, let's go from that place of shaking.
I give a voice to the voiceless and meaning to the marginalised. I can feel it in my tummy. It's like vibrating.
Okay, that's wonderful. Now the other person's like really not getting it. I don't get the importance of it. Like, what do you even want? And I want you to get a bit, that's it. You get a bit like worked up about it. And do you understand what I do? Do you understand this is what is going to change the world? What is changing the world? Give me your sentence. Like, you tell me what it is.
I give a voice to the voiceless and meaning to the marginalised.
Yeah. So we're getting different intentions and power behind it. Yeah. Now, when we play those games and we're not used to it, it's interesting how the sentence often sounds still the same, but the whole energy shifts, but the sentence in itself sounds the same still. Do you know what I mean by that? The rhythm of the sentence hasn't changed. I give a voice to the voiceless and a meaning to the marginalized. I give a voice to the voiceless and a meaning to the marginalized. I give a voice to the voiceless and a meaning to the rhythm hasn't changed.
The pace hasn't changed.
Pace hasn't changed. I'm going to give you some examples of how you can do it, but they're my examples. You might do something different. I just want you to see how it can change. Actually, no, I won't do it. I'm going to ask Elizabeth to give us an example. And then Ayanda to give us an example.
Okay, you just want a sentence from me.
That sentence, I give a voice to the voiceless and a meaning to the marginalized.
Okay. I give a voice to the voiceless and a meaning to the marginalized.
Very good. Nice. It's got something completely different.
So, what, a different sentence, do you mean?
No, we got something different than when we heard it from Sue. You gave it a different quality because you used your voice differently on that. And very powerfully, by the way. That was beautiful. Do you want to do another version just for fun?
I give a voice to the voiceless and meaning to the marginalized.
Very nice. I love it. And Sue really take that in. So, oh, that's possible too. Interesting. Let's hear what Ayanda, how would you say that?
All right.
I give a voice to the voiceless and meaning to the marginalized. But it sounds seductive. Let me try that again.
It sounded
I
great.
loved it.
It was fantastic.
I
So
loved it.
You
it
see
was
what I
really,
mean?
really good.
To me,
Yeah.
that sounded terrible. So
That's
No.
okay. That's okay. It wasn't terrible to us. And it's very important for you to know the actor is not the director. So you are not the judge of this. Okay? You do not get to judge this because you don't actually know. I have acting clients. I love this story. My acting client who came and wanted coaching to feel better because his premiere didn't go very well. He didn't feel good about it. And I said, okay, but before I coach you on that, just let me check in. What was the audience's reaction? Did they clap? He's like, yeah, they clapped. I mean, they did give me a standing ovation. So yeah, I guess I quite liked it. Ah, okay. And after that, everyone turned away and walked away, didn't want to talk to you, or what happened? No, like loads of people came, wanted to talk to me, wanted to shake. Oh, do you know the mayor? Actually, the mayor had come to the show, and he came backstage. He wanted to shake my hand and raise a glass. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And the director, he had big feedback. No, he said it was great, and we're going to talk tomorrow. I'm like, okay. So let me just summarize this for you. We had a standing ovation. The mayor of the town came to speak to you backstage, and the director was full of praise. It doesn't sound like it went that badly, you know? He's like, oh. But I didn't feel like, I felt I could have done this. I felt I could have done this. I said, yeah, I get it. We're artists. We always feel something. But the show went well. Can we see that? The show went well. So it goes to prove you are not the director. You do not get to be the judge of you, especially straight after a performance. If you want to play judge of you, you have to watch yourself back like Cherie does. Then you get to judge what the past Ayanda did. And then I recommend doing that in third person because that Ayanda is innocent and can't change. The one who already did the performance. Only the one that watching him can change. So I then always speak in third person and say, oh, look at what Evelyne did here. She could have said this a bit lighter. She could have taken a breath. Oh, she walked over her words. She was too fast. Interesting. Next time, can you do this? And I talk to myself in third person to direct me. It's a different role, the director and the performer.
Got it.
Yeah, and where you've gone wrong, where you've not been useful to yourself, is you mix them together, and they just can't. You know?
Makes sense.
Makes sense. Okay, cool.
Can I tell Ayanda to try it again?
Yeah, go on then.
All right. Wait, what is the line again, Sue?
Yeah, Sue, you tell us.
I give a voice to the voiceless and meaning to the marginalized.
Okay. I give a voice to the voiceless and meaning to the marginalized. That's how I think Ayanda wanted to say it.
That's how you said it this time. And next time you'll say it differently again. Because that's the beauty of singers and performers. Like we can say it different times every time. Like tell me to do something the same way, I can't. It's not going to work. You know?
Got it.
So the main thing here for Sue is, can you hear how we are all stressing different words in a different way? And that is because we have a different story, a different relationship to the words. Whereas you have a relationship mainly to the whole sentence. So, Sue, we want you to build a relationship to every word. I give. What are you giving? A voice. What does that even mean? Well, it means that I help people be heard, you know, so it raises them out of the indifference. That's a voice. I give a voice. To who do you give that voice to? To those who don't have it. You get it? Like the voiceless. I give a voice to the voiceless. And that's what you do. No, I do more. What else do you do? Well, you see, there's people who kind of fall off the edges of society. I help them to give them meaning. And I give meaning to who again? Like the people outside of society, to the marginalized. That's what I call the people who are not quite fitting in, you see? So every word needs a backstory to have a clear intention. And when it has that, it comes across 100 times more powerfully. And this is, Elizabeth, yesterday we had a short conversation about how do I become more powerful when I speak? How do people listen? This is underneath all of that. If every word tells a whole story, your presentation is rich versus every word is just another word you said, trying to get to make a point at some point, for which I have no attention span. But if I start my first word, you mentioned the word I, even the word I, with a whole awareness that saying I, taking the space, being a woman, claiming my ground is a big deal, then just the word I can have you be in awe already. Make sense? I give. Maybe it's not about me at all. Maybe it's really about the give. That's what I do. I give. I'm not taking. I'm not negotiating. I'm not asking. I'm giving. I give a voice. Did you hear me? I said voice. Like for me, like the voice is a big, big word. I give a voice to the voiceless. And in my head, I'm like, do you understand what that means? The voices are the people who don't have a voice. And I just told you I give a voice. And now I'm going to tell you something else that I do. This is my underneath monologue. And this is the most important thing I do in my whole life. I dedicate my entire life to this. And a meaning to the marginalized. And now we can get passionate about this, right? We can get passionate about this. We can go quicker about this if you want. I give a voice to the voiceless and a meaning to the marginalized. What do? I give a voice to the voiceless and a meaning to the marginalized. Like, you see what I'm doing? I'm working the words, each word, until they become so potent with meaning, with intention, that you cannot but listen and listen up. Elizabeth, let me check in. Is that hitting a spot for you? Is that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's all making sense. Yeah.
Good. Because when we are writing, we do that with our thoughts. Yeah. When you need to speak about your writing, you need to work that material into your body, into your voice, which is why, this is why we do this work. So part of it is training so that you have the awareness. Oh, that's what's possible. Oh, that's how you do it. And the other part is practice. You need a place where you bring your messages to, and we work those damn things. Because you cannot expect yourself to just have them. Okay, I wrote this thing. It's 3 lines, a great paragraph. I'm just going to speak in the camera. So I wrote this book about being free. And it's all about freedom and women and how we are not free in the beginning, but we want to be more free. And I spent hours, years, days, in fact, my whole life on writing this. And there was some really good thoughts in that book where you find that it might change your life. And so here I am starting to waffle about my most impactful work. You can't do that. You need to bring those messages to a place, work them in your body. So when you open your mouth and talk about this book, we all go like, "Ooh, I need that." I get it from the way she spoke about it, that this is important. She wrote the new Bible for women. She wrote the new chapter on freedom, on what it means to be modern and self-realized or confident or breaking free from your stuff, whatever it is.
Right.
God, I'm gonna be getting passionate.
Can I
Yeah?
ask one question?
No, only 2 at a time. Damn it.
Damn it. Yesterday, when I was on the call with Elizabeth, I felt really animated and really like so into what you were saying. And that energy isn't here today.
Oh
And I
no, I've
feel that
bored you.
no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. But it's like when I'm putting it into practice, I can't sustain that excitement and enthusiasm.
What if that was a good thing?
Oh, what?
Yeah. What if that was a good thing?
No, I heard you. I just didn't understand.
Yeah. So I'm just repeating it.
I still don't understand.
Hmm. Who said that being very enthusiastic and very excited is the best way to be?
My inner child.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And she's right. Because for an inner child, isn't it so much fun? When you get all giddy and fun. So yes, absolutely. Your inner child would say that, and I agree with her. I totally agree with her. Who do you think needs to come across when you speak so that other people listen to you?
The powerful adult.
That's right. Boom, bingo. So we honoring your inner child. I love that you have an inner child that can get so happy and giggly, and like she's so welcome here, so welcome here. And then when she's had her turn, she gets to sit down and watch how the grown-up Sue takes the reins and speaks truth to power and power into truth.
Wow. Cool.
Yeah. So the orientation mustn't be if I'm excited, it's right. If I'm excited and it's beautiful. Yes. But what we're looking for you is where's my power? Where's my serenity?
Gravitas.
Gravitas. Yes. Yes. And gravitas plus inner child is just gorgeous. Right? Gravitas without an inner child is very serious. I give a voice to the voiceless. I can hardly do it. I want to put on a German accent. I give a voice to the voiceless and meaning to the marginalized. Yes, I have gravitas and power, but nothing playful about it. And we're like, come on, mix it up. So, do you see where we're going? Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you for bringing that, Sue. Okay. I could play like this for hours, which is what I do, but I do this for a living. And that's what we're doing in the Impact Amplifier, where we're literally playing with your messages and working them into your body. And everybody comes out with their stories, their videos, spoken 100 times more powerful than they came in with. That's the idea. We're learning about all these things, the voice, the body, the intention, the who am I, all these wonderful things, and putting them into practice. It takes more than an hour taster, but I very, very, very much hope that you had a good flavor of what that means for you. I would like to wrap this session with a summary of what you're taking away. What are you taking away for yourself?
I'm ready to sharpen my voice to clearly help people understand my true intentions and building my inner gravitas. That's what I'm taking away.
Beautiful. Did you get what you wanted?
Yes, of course. And I want more. I wish this wasn't a taster.
Beautiful. Thank you. Cherie.
Yes, I am taking away that my insecurities or sadness or tiredness come through in the words I choose to emphasize. And I'm going to go practice getting it in my body And I also think the words aren't quite right. So I'm going to play around with the words a little bit.
Mm,
Yeah.
interesting.
Yes.
Yeah, with the words, I think we had a conversation before. There is something about coach language. I say to people, do you speak coach?
Yeah.
And can you speak English to me? And there's something around the people that have been in the personal development world for very long, or in spiritual world. We use certain words that we're all agreeing with, that are vibing with each other, and they're kind of disconnected from specificity. And it can be very good to go back and go, how do you say that in direct? Play with ChatGPT even.
Yeah.
Write down a whole floral coachy world. Like I'm calling forward to the front of my awareness, the beauty of the freedom of my heart that I liberate in others, and say, ChatGPT, how do you say that so that people actually get it? How do you say that in direct tone? How do you say that in a harsh way? How do you say that in rude? How do you say that in LinkedIn language? How do you say that in, the corporate tone? And see what it spits out, just to get different words to help you play with this.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what's coming is I have lined the inner and outer garden, which is totally not a coach speak. So there you go. But I will play with it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just a taster session. This has been amazing.
It's a pleasure. Thank you. Elizabeth, what about yourself?
I know that I need to practice more, work on the tonality and the pace, perhaps. I lived in Germany for a few years, and I trained in Germany. I was training people in Germany and in other parts of the world who did not have English as a first language. And I was constantly being told to slow down. So I naturally used to speak very, very fast. And then I slowed down to such a degree that I struggle now sometimes to get the pace up to the right level that I need to communicate with my audience. And that has been feedback that I've had from people I've worked with over the last 12 months. Pick up the pace, pick up the pace, pick up the pace. But I'm also quite laid back a lot of the time, so I think sometimes that comes out. And if I'm talking about people going through shit, it's quite sort of they're in a down place, and then we move to picking them up again. But I've been told that even when I'm talking positive stuff, there's still not enough pace. So that's where I'm feeling I know I need to practice with all of that, and I'm curious to what else you hear.
Wonderful. So there's dynamics, places, and paces that we can play with. And I don't know you enough to say, yeah, totally, you really need to pick up the pace. I like to lean into where people naturally are. If your natural pace these days is slower, then my inclination is to help you become so powerful in your choice of words that people will be grateful that you leave spaces between them.
Okay,
And I think that makes sense, right? I think for a woman of your stature, that would suit you well. Amp up the power. Anyone can speak fast.
Yeah. No, it's not so much about speaking fast, because that doesn't. I think it's the tonality and yeah, getting the exact right words that just come. Because I don't read stuff in the sense of if I'm talking, it comes. I've got the framework. I know what I'm going to say, but I'm not reading it. I'm not. And I've done it, and it's worked.
Yeah.
And I've had every person who didn't already have a copy of my book on a call actually go straight away and buy the darn book. So I know that I can do it, and I just need to work. But the book is one thing. The speaking on stage and addressing a larger audience, that is something else again. And stage presence and all the rest of it, because I operate in different places, and I'm attempting to get to the point where I'm using, because it's different, isn't it? It's different if you're online, if you're doing a webinar or a Zoom, than if you're standing on a stage in front of 100 people. and that commanding presence. So I've been playing around with a lot of this over the last 12 months, attempting to get it to a point where I'm comfortable with it. I'm comfortable with the message, that the message comes out exactly as I want it to. I have the structure in my head for how it needs to go. I just don't necessarily have all the captivating words and everything quite as I want it. So that's what I'm working on.
All these things are definitely things that I can help you with. Like, they really speak directly into my area of expertise. It would be an honor to help you with those, because it does require this. It's a practice, it's a feedback loop, it's a jam, it's a challenge, and it's amazing what we can do in quite a short amount of time.
Oh,
It would be so great. It would be so great to see that. Yeah. I'm like,
shall I tell you what else? I've been working with somebody, but I think one of the reasons I'm struggling with some of what comes out of there is it's entirely masculine energy, and it does not feel right. Some of the do it like this, do it like that, and I'm like, yeah, shit, no, that's not me. I don't want to do it like that. I don't want to be a clone. You know, when I'm standing on a stage or doing a webinar or something, it's like you have to see me, because if you don't
yes,
see me, then you're going to buy me, and
correct,
I'm not going to be able to help you get what you need.
correct. So in order to be what we call authentic, we need to see you.
Yeah.
So it's hugely important. Yes, it's one of the things I feel happy when I get to say that, when people say, why, but what's the difference between you and a media trainer? I said, I'm not a media trainer. My job is to help leaders become the visionaries and the leaders that they are when they are in the spotlight, to be able to embody their missions and their visions when other people are watching. That's what I do. I'm not going to show them how to look straight in the camera and use their left arm this way and then walk to the stage for this, for the right. That's so basic. I'm not interested in that. I want to see authenticity. I want to see leadership. I want to see essence. That's what's interesting.
I think that is why, you know, this is sounding so refreshing to me, because I have been resisting this training, which is attempting to turn me into a clone. And I'm like, I don't want to, I've taken what I've taken out of it, but then there's bits where I'm like in total resistance, because I'm like, I don't want to be like that. That doesn't sound like me. And I'm like, and I know that I'm right in that approach. It's cost a lot of money to get to this point, but hey, I think I just have to put it down to, I paid the money, I learned a lot, and now I have to do it my way, take what I learned and then tweak it.
Absolutely. Tweak away. Tweak away. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. If you want more of this, that's what we'll do in the Impact Amplifier. My idea was to launch one in September. There might be one for the Silver Tent separately. That was an idea that we're having. Yeah, you know what to do for that one. If you want to be in the official September Impact Amplifier, there's a wait list open right now. If you put yourself down for that, you'll get the early bird pricing when we open, which will be very, very soon. And it would be an absolute honor to serve you in more depth in there. For now, I wish you a wonderful day, evening, wherever you may be. And hopefully I will see you very soon. Lots of love.
Thank you, Evelyne. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you,
very
everyone.
much. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.